Hi, I have noticed a lot of heaviness in the air, that a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed and like life is a burden, that things piled on top of things on top of things are just a burden. And when everyday life is already pretty high on the stress level and you add another thing on top of it and another thing on top of it, it can feel almost like paralysis. And the thing is, it's not our fault. It's not anyone's fault that life is overwhelming, hectic, and heavy right now. Everyone is dealing with their own stuff. And if you're dealing with stuff, I'm going to assume you are dealing with some stuff, with some of your own stuff. So I want you to know that you are not alone. This feeling of, it's almost like an angst. It's like constantly hypervigilant, looking problems and fires to put out. And that's a really tough place to be in. It's a hard place to live. And it zaps our joy of life. It zaps the fun and the connection that we feel with other people, the contentment and the satisfaction that we get in life. It's not your fault. What's happening is that we're fractionalized. Our minds and bodies are in many different places. It's like having so many open browsers, on the computer. When you have one open browser, the computer functions pretty quickly, but you have 10 open browsers and everything is really slow. Well, that's what life is like for many of us, is that too many browsers are open all of the time, and we're not able to shut one browser down and focus on one. So our energy is diverted into many different directions simultaneously. And when this happens for a long period of time, that leads to burnout, that leads to exhaustion, that leads to an overactive nervous system, so that any little thing, it's like the princess and the pea. The pea is there and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just so uncomfortable, when really it's something that's a pea. Or compare it to the iceberg. We only see the very tip of the iceberg, but underneath the water is a huge iceberg, and it's been growing and forming and building. And so when we see the tip of the iceberg, that might be an explosion, some kind of a reaction, not feeling like you can hold it together, a temper tantrum even, swearing and anger, all of these things, that's the tip of the iceberg. It's normal. That's a normal reaction when there's too much pressure. What we need to do is to reset and reduce the pressure. That's the most important thing. What's happening in your nervous system, you might feel the pressure mounting, or you might just explode or feel like you're ready to explode all of the time. So what's happening in the nervous system is our body has this autonomic nervous system. It allows us to breathe and to digest food and to our heart to beat. And all of these things happen, temperature control, they happen without us being aware of it. There are two parts to the nervous system. There's the sympathetic nervous system, which is designed to detect fear. So when there's a threat, when we sense danger in any way, this is a physical threat, this is an emotional threat, this might be a boundary threat, someone's invading my space. This might be a threat or a fear based on a past experience that we have, and now everything similar to this situation looks like a threat. It might come in an email from someone, and we read the tone and we detect anger or attack somehow, and we feel this threat. So the threat can look like a lot of different things. All of this puts us into sympathetic drive. And when we're in sympathetic drive, all of the blood in our body, all of our body's resources get redirected to big muscle groups, meaning you want to move. And the adrenaline starts to go, because our body's designed to get us out of danger. When there's a threat, we are either going to get out of danger, or we are going to freeze, we're going to shut down. And now there's also the fawning response, which is the trying to appease. It's trying to fix something. It's trying to smooth things over. And so many of us have this fawning response as well. So this is all a product of us detecting a threat. When we are living in fractionalized, meaning our minds are going many different places. We are on the phone and we've got people that have demands on us there. We have children in front of us, or people, partners, co-workers in front of us that have demands they're dealing with. There are demands on you. There's a household, right? There are bills to pay. There's all that stuff. You know your demands. This can seem manageable up into a point, and then it gets to a level that it's just too much because our mind is fractionalized. that puts us into sympathetic nervous system arousal, and that makes us hyperreactive. We can't see clearly when we're in that state. We literally can't perceive the world and our world as clearly as we did when we're not in that state. We don't want to make decisions when we're in this place because they're not going to be good decisions, because our view has gotten really narrow. Your view gets really small. We're not able to see all the stuff out here because it's like, okay, we have to hyper focus to get out of danger. And that's helped us to survive for thousands and thousands of years, right? And then on the other side, we have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. It's what we call a state of homeostasis. It's when everything is working fine. We feel safe. If you think about how often do I feel safe in my life? Now, you might feel physically safe, like I feel physically safe, but you might not feel emotionally safe. You might not feel mentally safe. You might not feel socially safe. If there's any feeling of outsiderness or there's any feeling of rejection, and we all have these core wounds as well of abandonment, rejection, and not being enough. These, that's going to put us, when that core wound is activated, it puts us into sympathetic. Understanding that this is the way the nervous system works and it's totally natural and normal. And what we want to do is we have to shift from here over to here. We have to shift from sympathetic or from fight or flight, freeze or fawn, into rest and digest, I am safe. So what we need to do is to untangle some of the stuff that's causing us to be in sympathetic nervous system. So we're just giving it a little bit of space, because when we give it some space, we can settle. I have a guide, she's called Discernment, and she stands in the middle of a sandstorm, and she looks like the sand people from Star Wars. Okay, so she's dressed in goggles and sand-colored robes and all like this, and she has a sword that's tied to her waist. She shows me when I'm in this sympathetic nervous system state that if I were to start taking action in that state, it would be like pulling a sword out and waving it at the sand. And it's useless. It's a waste of energy. It's because you can't see anything. You can't attack a sandstorm with a sword, right? So instead, it's stand still. We stand still and we go, okay, I'm going to let the sand settle. Once the sand settles, I'll be able to see more clearly. To get this type of clarity, to get out of overwhelm or feeling like everything is a burden, to stop, feel your feet on the ground, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, run your hands under some warm or cool water, feel your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath in through the nose and feel your belly. This is important. We have to expand the belly. It's also our center of gravity, this place called the hara. Feel the belly. Exhale slowly out through your mouth. We're going to do that 3 times. Inhale, deep breath in. Feel the belly and feel it full. Bring all of your awareness right now to your belly. Exhale. Third time. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Now take a moment to notice that simple shift. So there's a shift there. Some of the sand settled, not all of it, but some sand. We get a little bit more clarity. Now pick one area, just one of the areas that's causing this big sandstorm over here, that's causing the overwhelm, that's causing the burden. Pick one area to look at. This could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to sit with this issue, to focus on this one issue. Scheduling the time allows you to monofocus. And this is really important, is the ability to monofocus helps to settle that feeling of overwhelm. So this has to be no phone, no interruptions, close the door, and give yourself just this time to be completely present with whatever this issue is. If you want a gentle space to practice integration of body, mind, and spirit into whole human living, that's what Strength in Stillness is for. I'll see you next time.